Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene, good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife are parted. I'm gonna take another walk downtown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in the town. Sometimes I have a great notion to jump into the river and drown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Stop rambling, stop your gambling, stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and your family. Sit down by the fireside bright. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Good night, Irene. And good evening, everybody. I am Ethan Hirschenfeld. This is the No-Show for Thursday, the 11th of July, 2024. Goodnight, Irene. That song is from 1936 by Huddy Ledbetter. Huddy. I don't think I've ever met a man named Huddy. I never met anybody named Huddy. Huddy Ledbetter. Oh, Huddy Ledbetter is Leadbelly. I didn't know that. Wow. Huddy Ledbetter is Leadbelly. I did not know that. Born 1888 in Mooringsport, Louisiana, and died in New York City in 1949. Huddy Ledbetter. Huddy William Ledbetter, better known by the stage name Leadbelly, was an American folk and blues singer notable for his strong vocals, virtuosity on the 12-string guitar, and the folk standards he introduced. Here are some of those renditions that he introduced. In the Pines, Goodnight Irene, Midnight Special, Cotton Fields, Boll Weevil. Wow. Leadbelly usually played the 12-string guitar, but he also played the piano, the mandolin, the harmonica, the violin, and the windjammer. I don't know what a windjammer is. I got to look that up. He sang while clapping his hands, stomping his feet. All right, Leadbelly. He also wrote songs about people in the news, such as FDR, Hitler, Jean Harlow, Jack Johnson, the Scottsboro Boys, and Howard Hughes. He was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988 and the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame in 2008. Though many releases credit him as Leadbelly as one word, he wrote his name as two words, lead and belly. That's interesting. Leadbelly. Okay. He lived a pretty short life. Passed away at 61 in New York City. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Okay, the other person credited on that song, Goodnight, Irene, is someone named John A. Lomax. Let's look up John A. Lomax. And as always, I thank Wikipedia for all of the info. John Lomax, American teacher, pioneering musicologist, and a folklorist. So it sounds like he might have been the guy who went down and just heard Leadbelly sing this and then wrote it down. Hey, Dawn. Hey, everybody. Hey, Dawn, and hello, Max. How you doing? Maxwell Edison. Jill says the term woke was coined by the blues singer Leadbelly. Wow. In a 1938 song about the Scottsboro Boys. Very cool. He was a collector. So John Lomax was a collector of folk music. Yeah. Family came from England, settled in North Carolina. He raised horses and cattle. When Blythe was 21 years old, he took his savings, left the farm. Wait, let me back that up. That's an interesting story. Around the age of 9, he befriended Nat Blythe, a former slave hired as a farmhand by James Lomax. Okay, so when he was a kid, he became friends with a former slave. That's how recent that horrible institution was with us in this country. So as a kid, he befriended this former slave. The friendship, he later wrote, perhaps gave my life its bent. Lomax, this kid, taught Blythe, the former slave, to read and write, and Blythe taught Lomax songs, including Big Yam Potatoes on a Sandy Land, and dance steps such as the Juba. When Blythe was 21 years old, he took his savings and left. Lomax never saw him again and heard rumors that he'd been murdered. For years, he always looked for him when he traveled around the South. All right, so that's Lomax, who's also credited on this tune, Goodnight, Irene. But my suspicion is that he kind of collected the song, maybe wrote it down, but it was Leadbelly's song. Irene, good night. Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you. Another simple kind of song. I mean, a kind of twangy. By the way, I don't know if you're still here, Stephanie, but maybe that's why I thought to sing this one tonight, because we just did an audition where Stephanie was playing the role of someone with that kind of an accent. Oh, hello, Feldman. Nice to see you. We just did Irene, Goodnight by Leadbelly. Oh, hey, there you are. Yeah, so I think doing that scene with it, which had some twang in the scene, I think that might have gotten me thinking about. I'm going to do just one more verse of Goodnight, Irene, because I enjoyed that. For anyone who's late. I'm going to do the middle verse, which has that tragicomic little moment at the end. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in the town. Sometimes I have a great notion to jump into the river and drown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Well, that's the middle verse. He doesn't jump in the river and drown. He sits down at the fireside, bright, with his family, and has a nice time. So it has a good ending. It has a happy ending. All right. I jumped into the ocean today, which I hadn't been in a while. Way out here at the end of Cape Cod, the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, that vast ocean that extends from here all the way to Europe. It's only about 2 miles or 3 miles away from the bay, this little bay. So I've been going in the bay for my swims, and it's very warm. It's unseasonably warm. It's worrisome how warm it is if you're concerned about climate change and global warming and the climate crisis. And if you believe in science, it's worrisome that the water is this warm this early in the summer. So I went into the ocean. I was over there with Gornamants. We were running around chasing balls. Well, I was throwing the ball. He was chasing it mostly. And it was frigid. The ocean was frigid, like in the old days. It was shocking. It must have been, I was saying 10, but I bet it was 15 degrees colder than the bay. It was pretty wild. It was like painful on the arms. I was really shocked. So that's what's happening. I feel like there might be some way to tap the differential in heat between the bay and the ocean, and with that difference to somehow solve all of our energy needs. Are there any scientists in the audience? Max, are you a scientist? Can you figure that out? Oh, that's a good song. 1928. I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing I've plenty of, baby. Dream a while, scheme a while, we're sure to find happiness, and I guess all those things you've always pined for. Gee, I'd like to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets Woolworth doesn't sell, baby. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, baby, I can't give you anything but love. That's pretty twangy also. All right. 1928. Jimmy McHugh and Dorothy Fields. I can't give you anything love. I can't give you anything but love. I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing I've plenty of, baby. Dream a while, scheme a while, we're sure to find happiness, and I guess all those things you've always pined for. Gee, I'd like to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets Woolworth doesn't sell, baby. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, baby, I can't give you anything but love. That's a nice one. That's a nice Depression era song. Well, it's 1928, so it's pre-Depression, but it sounds like a Depression song. There are all those songs about pennies and about not being able to give anybody the material stuff. Wah 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 da 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 da. Oh, I'm gonna catch up. Oh, okay. Affecting T449. There he is. There's Max. Hello, everybody. Oh, there we go. Neuro. I knew someone in my audience was going to be a brainiac who could explain this. My idea about capturing the temperature differential between the ocean and the bay to solve climate change. Here we go. Thermocouples, according to Neuro, can generate electricity from temperature differences. The Navy's new anti-submarine drone uses a thermocouple to recharge its batteries. All right. That's something. Another broke dude promising love. Richard, I like that review of this song. It's just another broke dude promising love. Very funny. Oh, look at that. Dawn. So you're telling me that Max's aunt and two uncles are scientists. Okay. Chasing balls. Yes, I realized when I said the dog and I were chasing balls. In fact, there was a guy in the distance. When I was a kid once, that very same beach, 50 years ago, we walked that beach in the same direction, walked south on that beach, and that's where the nudists hung out in the mid-70s. That's where the nudies were. And that was like a shocking, hilarious thing, that there were naked people down at the end of the beach. And I think there was a whole kerfuffle, kind of a local drama about whether nudity was allowed, or if it's not allowed, is it enforced? And if it's enforced, how is it enforced? Enforced nudity. No, I mean enforced not nudity. I don't remember how it all turned out, but anyway, I was just walking down there the other day. That same spot now has become the nude spot also. So in the distance, you see, like the title of that book, The Naked Ape. There it is, just some naked person way in the distance. And at first you're thinking, wait, what am I looking at there? Is that I'm talking way in the distance. You're thinking, that's just someone wearing a flesh-colored bathing suit, because you can't tell. And the closer you get, then you can tell. Anyway, that's what was happening here on the Atlantic today. And it was just a somewhat elderly couple just enjoying their afternoon there. And they had the whole beach to themselves until we came along. And then we just turned around with our balls and went the other way with our tennis balls. I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing I've plenty of, baby. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Oh, this is a good one. Again, these are all like borderline public domain. They're sort of at the cusp of the 100-year mark, so. The funny thing is with these new tuners, I mean, they're the second set of new ones. These ones are simpler and they weigh, the thing feels really good, but then they have these little screws there, which tighten or loosen them to make them more or less sensitive. And they're just very tight now. Then if they're too loose, the pitch slips. So I'm loath to futz with it too much. So anyway, but I think it's coming along. But it's different than it's slightly smaller than the newish one. And it's like 100 years old or whatever. From the Gretsch factory in Brooklyn. And it's beautiful, and I think it has a really nice sound, but it's a little temperamental. It's temperamental. And so, hey, let me invite you. Here's an invitation. Anyone in the audience who's interested and has the time and the wherewithal to make it to New York on August 7th, the premiere of the mockumentary Today Is Now. The premiere screening is happening 3:30 p.m. on August 7th, Wednesday, August 7th, 3:30 p.m. as part of the NYC Festival of Cinema. Today Is Now, the long-awaited, long-anticipated premiere of the mockumentary, the eponymous mockumentary. Max and everyone watching, if you can somehow shoehorn the word eponymous, into your conversations at least once a day, you will impress some people and lose some friends. No, it's a nice word. Anyhow, it's eponymous because the movie and the book have the same name. So the movie is happening. The movie was finished quite a while ago. We entered it into a bunch of festivals. It is now having its premiere screening on August 7th at 3:30 on Queens Boulevard at the UA Cinema as part of the NYC Festival of Cinema 2024. Please come to the screening. If you come to the screening, then come out for a bite. Dinner's on me after the screening. That's my invitation. to all of the no-show audience members. If anyone wants to come out to the screening, dinner is on me. It's at an Indian restaurant nearby. I've alerted them to the arrival of a large group. Send me a message, send me a private message, send me a, however you want to contact me. Let me know. If you're going to do that, you can leave a comment, and so I'll know to add more people to the reservation. Yeah, so it's exciting to finally show the movie in public. Okay. You gotta give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. You gotta laugh a little, cry a little, before the clouds roll by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. As long as there's the two of us, we got the world and all its charms. And when the world is through with us, we got each other's arms. You gotta win a little, lose a little, and always have the blues a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Oh yeah. You gotta give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. That's one of those advice songs. That's like a know-it-all song. It's like a philosophy song. And then that B section is a heartfelt expression of affection from the singer to the listener. As long as there's the two of us, we got the world and all its charms. And when the world is through with us, we got each other's arms. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da-da. You got the blues part down, yeah. It's also a yin-yang, wabi-sabi, salt and pepper, sweet and sour song. It's like, love is this, it's also this, it's light, it's dark, it's chiaroscuro. That's what they say, that's what makes the beauty in art. The dark and the light, the contrast. NYC Festival of Cinema 2024. Thank you. August 7th at 3:30. Thank you for writing that out there. Hippopotamus, yes. I was thinking the same thing. Eponymous, the eponymous hippopotamus. Oh, JX, by the way. So it's made in the Gretsch factory, but they stuck the name Sherwood on it, like the forest in Robin Hood. It's a Sherwood, but I was assured that it was made in the Gretsch factory. We can maybe look that up and see if I was hoodwinked. I was trying to see if there were any clues in the way down there in the guts. As long as there's the two of us. Okay, I'm going to look that up just for the fun of it. Sherwood ukulele. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. Gretsch Sherwood. There it is. It's a Gretsch Sherwood. It's a Sherwood made by Gretsch. Yeah, that's the one I have. There it is. There's one on eBay. Yeah, that's the identical instrument from the 50s. That one says. Maybe this one's from the 1950s. You gotta live. You know what? That is like that's the magic of. It's so crazy how much data is out there. You're looking for an item like that. You put the name in, and you see a photo of the exact thing with a price on it, and it's available. That was just a belated reaction from 30 years ago, when the internet was new, and love was just an inspiration. Crazy. Okay, Carolina. I can't help falling in love. That's a good one. Again, okay, that's 1961. Oh, you have a Martin. Yeah, that sounds beautiful. A friend of mine also has one of those Martin ukuleles. I have a friend who's a mandolin player and a guitar player, and he's a multi-string instrumentalist. And he told me he has a beautiful Martin ukulele. I haven't seen it, but it's somewhere there in Brooklyn, in his house. I'm going to go over sometime and make him dig it out. I feel like tonight's episode is long on music and short on talk. I think usually the balance is a little bit more, it leans more in the direction of the talk with a few songs. I feel like tonight is songs with a little bit of talk. Oh, my audition today was very fun. It went very well. I did it early this morning with a friend in Toronto and then with a friend in New York. So I Zoomed. I got two friends to agree to read this audition scene with me for the TV show FBI. Really good scene, actually. You know, it really is like that sixth player thing in basketball where they would say, like, I remember when I was a big basketball fan, I think Bobby Jones was his name on the 76ers. He was known as the best sixth man in the NBA. And the trick there is that that's someone who has to jump off the bench and immediately be in the flow and immediately be doing important things in the game without all the time to warm up and get going. There's no time to make a few mistakes and then get your bearing. You got to just hit the ground running. And these small parts, I know they say there are no small parts, just small actors or whatever, but these shorter, let's say these shorter scenes, you really gotta show something very quickly right out of the gate. So, and this one happened to be really well written as far as a nice little twist. If you can imagine a scene that's just a minute long with a nice emotional twist in it. So that was fun. And then tomorrow I have this audition for Law and Order, for the district attorney, for the role of the district attorney. So I have my lines written out right here to study. And you don't, as they say, you don't have to be memorized for these things, but it doesn't hurt. But you don't really have to be memorized for one of these TV auditions. As long as there's the two of us, we got the world and all its charms. And when the world is through with us, we got each other's arms. I like that. It's a nice rhyme. The charms and the arms. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds from now on. I'm skipping the middle section. Blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Yes, Law and Order. Law and Order. Dick Wolf, the Dick Wolf universe. There are many forms of Law and Order, as I was discussing with my friend Stephanie tonight. I've been on only one of them. I've been on SVU, Special Victims Unit, a couple of seasons ago. That was a very fun job. So I think this is classic. This is like, there was Coke, then New Coke, then Diet Coke, then Cherry Coke, then there was, classic Coke. So this is Law and Order original Law and Order. Probably the 38th season. I don't even remember. Hey, Emmanuel, great to see you. How you doing? Congratulations. I saw some nice notice about your stand-up comedy, about some upcoming gig. All right, here we are at the outro. You're just in time for us to say goodnight. I'm so glad we had this time together. Oh yeah, Mariska. Yeah, I got to meet her. I had scenes with her. I think that's who we're talking about, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the spelling is tricky on that name, but yes, Mariska. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that Friedman Agnifilo consults on that TV show. Very interesting. Yeah, I've watched her quite a bit. Okay. I'll be here at 9 always, every night at 9 always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I'll be here at 9 always, always. Days may not be fair always. That's why I'll be here always. Not just for an hour, not just for a day, not just for a year, but always, always here at 9 p.m., 9 p.m. East every night, 6 p.m. West, 3 p.m. in Hawaii. Thank you very much for your eyes and ears. Very glad you came. Thanks for being here. And I will see you again tomorrow night. Sweet dreams.